Hi guys, it's Lynn here. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Now today I'm going to be showing you how you can prune and take cuttings of Kalanchoe fedtschenkoi. And this particular succulent is one of the bryophyllum family, which means that it grows little tiny plantlets around the leaves, a little bit like the commonly known mother of thousands plants, or the mother of millions as it's sometimes called, or mother of trillions I should say. And this particular Kalanchoe is a beautiful sort of scallop leaf variety that has a lovely peachy colour edging all around it, and lovely sort of bell-like orangey coloured flowers in the spring and summer, and sometimes into the early fall. Gorgeous succulent, but it's very fast growing, and it is one that does need to be pruned regularly to keep it in shape. And when you're pruning it, what perfect opportunity to take cuttings, to propagate more plants, to give away to your friends and your family. So here is the plant here, and what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be showing you first of all how to prune it, and telling you the procedure, and then from the prunings I'm going to be showing you how then you can take cuttings to propagate this plant. Now when it comes to pruning a plant, obviously you can prune it into any shape you want, but succulents are no different to other types of plants in the sense that you always cut above a node, and nodes are these little tiny ridges here where all the leaves come out of. As you can see, the leaves have fell off here, but you can see that's the little node there. So it's always important that you cut above a node. The reason being, if I was to cut in the middle there between two nodes, this part in the middle there between the two nodes would just go brown and just die back, and you're left with a load of unsightly stalks. It will still grow from the sides, but it will make it look not attractive. So by cutting just above, a little bit above a node, then the new shoots will come out and it will look much tidier. And then when you go to take cuttings, then you cut below the node. So here we go. This is what the plant looks like now. I'm going to show you then how to take cuttings. Now this particular plant, if you just leave it, the stems will carry on hanging down. It can make really attractive hanging baskets, but as I say, a bit short for space here, so I'm going to have to prune this back, and I'll just lift this camera up a bit more. Now this is the largest part here, so as I say, it's no different to pruning any type of plant really, and I have made a video on how to prune succulents, and I'll link that video also up above, and also down below in the video description if you want a bit more info on how to prune other types of succulents. But procedure is pretty much the same. Now here we go. This here is very long, so I want to prune this back. I'll probably keep these bits here, and I'm going to be here again above a node, so I can cut that right back there, but here I'm just going to go there's the node there, so a little tiny about a centimetre above the node, straight off. There we go, that's the first one there. Put that aside, and then the second one here, again we're going to cut that back to just a little bit, about a centimetre above there, straight off. Side, and I'm going to show you a few examples here. I'm just going to move the stand a little bit across here, so you can see these are the bits. This is a very large piece here, this one here. I'm also going to cut again. I can cut back there if I wanted to, but I think I'm going to cut here just a little bit above the node again. Let's see if you can see there. And I'm going to keep this sort of fairly bushy-ish because I still like it, but it does need to be oops, excuse me here, just move the stand around so you can see what I'm doing. And here again I'll show you another example of this one here again. That's where I cut it before, that's the new growth. So here I can either cut it back there, which I think I probably will do on this one. Again there. And one more example, I'm just going to turn this round. This is a very long piece here. I'm just going to move the stand down so you can see the lower part here. This bit here, let's turn this round. Is a very long piece here, and that's hanging down. So I'm going to prune this back. Here, this has already got sort of little roots growing on it. Again, just a little bit above a node. There. And that's it. And it just already looks a lot better, as you can see, guys. No, not as bad or hanging about everywhere. And probably keep that pretty much as it is. I think I might just do another little one here, just to prune this bit back. Again, I'm probably going to cut this as that there, a little bit above the node there. And now we've got our cuttings. Going to show you then how to prepare the cuttings. So that's how to prune, very easy, and you can prune it back to as short as you want, but I'm going to keep this pretty much how it is because I like it nice and bushy and it's not too bad out of shape there. So that's the pruning done, and now I'm going to do the cuttings. So here we've got all the cuttings here, and as I say, when it comes to taking cuttings, you want to then cut just below a node. So when you're pruning, it's above a node, and when you're cutting, it's below a node. So obviously these have all been cut when I pruned back the plant to, obviously it's above the node, and then this is you're left with this stalk bit here. So here I want to make sure then I cut this stalk bit away. There's that little node there. So that's just, again, about half centimetre to a centimetre away there, and then there's just the node, and that's because the roots are going to come out of here and all these as well. Now this is actually quite too long really for a cutting, so I'm going to cut it again to shorten it up, and there's the node there. So here we go, to just below a node, and that's the cutting here. And you want to make sure as well, if you've got any leaves here, remove them. So you've got a little bit, about an inch or so there, with about 2 or 3 nodes on it where the roots are going to come from. That's ready then to plant up, and put that aside. Same with this one, with this cutting here, and look at that, you see it's obviously a bit of a strange shape. So I'm going to, with this one here, there's the node there, so I'm going to cut, say, just below a node there. And you can also use that as a cutting as well, but as it's a little bit not the best shape, I'm going to leave that. This has already got these little type of aerial roots that they do send out, and then you remove the lower leaves here. As I say, you want to have at least an inch, if not half an inch, but an inch ideally there, so that can go into the soil there. And you've got the nodes there and nodes here for roots to come out of. So that's another cutting. I'll show you again another example. Again, this is a bit of too much of a long stem there, so I'm going to cut this here probably to there, to just below the node, as I said, and then removing these leaves here, because you want to have at least 2 or 3 nodes. And by the way, with this particular plant, I'd say it's one of the Bryophyllum family. These have got little plantlets on, so you can actually take these off and place them on top of the soil, and they root really well. Even if you just place one leaf like that, these little babies will grow, and then this leaf will eventually come away. So I'm going to keep that little leaf. It's got 2 little plantlets on it, so that can be potted up. And that's all you have to do with the cuttings there. So them 3 are done. I'm going to show you then what it's like when all of these are done. Just want to mention with these Kalanchoe Bryophyllum types, they do often, as I say, sending out these little aerial roots, but I wouldn't, if I was to put that in the soil, these are not really going to do anything, because these are going to be where the new roots are going to come from. So I'm just going to cut that off. No point in having that on there. So just thought I'd mention that. And there we go, that's all of the cuttings prepared then for potting up. Now what I would recommend doing is, because obviously succulents, some people, it depends on your climate. If you live in a very arid climate, you can sort of put these straight into dry cactus and succulent soil and treat them as cuttings. But because here where I live in Ireland and the UK, it is quite a high humidity, I prefer to let the cuttings callus over at the very bottom here. It's only a very small diameter, so you don't need to leave it for a week. I would say for 24 hours, just to allow these the little cut parts there to callus over. They're going to a bit more of a white, harder crust. And then I'm going to pot these up then in cactus and succulent soil, a very well draining cactus and succulent soil, potting them in to, as I say, up to about the inch there. And what I'm going to be doing then is I'm just going to be lightly misting the very top surface of the soil of these cuttings with water, just to keep the top surface damp but not wet. I'm not going to water the soil because they haven't got roots yet, so they can't take up water as such. But after 2 to 3 weeks, they would have pretty much rooted. They root quite fast, and then it'd be ready to water them as normal. But as I say, just lightly mist the top of the soil, just so it's just damp until they form roots. Now you can also propagate these in water as well, by putting them into a jar of water, and they root very well that way. I've rooted this particular plant both ways, both soil and water, just to let you know this is one of the very few type of succulents that you can propagate in water, as you can with some of the other type of sedums and some of the epiphytic cacti you can do as well. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed that how to prune and take cuttings video. And if you want to know more on how to grow cacti and succulents, including propagation and lots of other care tips, then do check out my website, desertplantsofavalon.com. And for lots more videos on how to grow cacti and succulents, then please do subscribe for more or less daily videos on cacti and succulents care and all the different types of them. And thank you so much for watching, guys. I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness and tons of plant power from across the Emerald Isle. And until my next video, bye.